So close, yet so far. Pedro Obiang, take a bow. But I tell you what, plaudits go out to David Moyes. He set out tonight to do one job only, which was exactly what he did. If you said to me, take a point before the game started today, I would absolutely snatch the hand off it. I don't even know if that just made sense, but the point being that we were literally 5 minutes from victory tonight after that rocket, after that almighty, unbelievable goal from Pedro Obiang. Welcome back to Ange United. 1-1 West Ham Tottenham at Wembley. We are frustrating Tottenham, and that's what's a good. That's a positive. That's a good thing. We got a point from the game tonight. We've got Richard. Hit me up. Let me know what your thoughts are.
It's a decent point. I think I share the same sentiments as you when you said before the game you'd take a point. I would have taken a point as well. I think it's difficult for Hammers fans to take because, as you mentioned, we were so close to a massive away victory again at Wembley. But the players can take so much credit because, we sat back and yes, we were a little bit too defensive at times in the first half. But you know what? That's exactly what Moyes came to do, as you've mentioned again. And credit to him, credit to the players because they stuck to the plan. They stuck to our plan A and they did it down to a T. And I think the whole squad will be buzzing with that performance and will take a lot of confidence into the games coming up now.
100%. Listen, we were 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. I mean, that's the frustrating part. Like, listen, we would have bit anyone's hand off to get the point before the game, but if you're talking about 5 minutes from the end, we went 1-0 up. We had no attempts on goal, and then the one attempt we had on goal. What an unbelievable strike from Obiang. Listen, talk me through Obiang performance tonight.
That goal, if that's not in the top 2 or 3 for goal of the season, I'll riot because my word, what a strike. He gets the ball from Masuaku and he literally, there's nothing else on, so he goes, screw it, let me smash this, and he has belted that. I don't think I've ever seen a shot hit better than that tonight, and Lloris didn't even smell it. In off the post. Obiang was much improved today. He's taken a lot of flack. Him and Kouyaté. I still thought Kouyaté struggled today. Hasn't been himself.
No, he did.
But I thought Obiang was decent, much better. He won a lot of fouls because there wasn't much of an outball with Hernandez up top. But Obiang did well to win some fouls, give us a breather, hold up the ball. And I think that's all you can ask for from someone like Pedro. And he did the business today, and Moyes will be happy with him.
Absolutely. Let me dissect the game a little bit. Let's talk about team selection. Wow, that was a bit of a shocker today. Arnautovic not playing, not even on the bench. Looks like he's potentially picked up a hamstring injury, is it? From what we know?
Yeah. It seems like a hamstring injury. Go for it, sorry mate.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing too drastic. Hopefully it's a short-term thing. Hopefully it's a kind of, let's just protect our main man. He was there, he travelled with the squad. You've seen him on the bench tonight, but I mean, what was your thoughts on the team selection?
I was chuffed that Chicha was starting, but a part of me sunk as well because I knew he wasn't going to get any service, and I knew he was going to be isolated and he was going to get frustrated again, and that's what happened. Yes, okay, he had a decent half chance in the first half. Maybe he could have shot. He took a bit of time, tried to cross it, didn't work out. But you know what? Team-wise, we knew exactly what Moyes was going to do. He was going to shut up shop. He's going to stay as compact as possible and try to play on the counter. Obviously, he's gone with Kouyaté, Obiang and Noble just to try and be that protective layer in front of our back five. And I think the team selection was what we expected. He had to kind of try and make a few changes from the West Brom game because, quite frankly, 2 games in 48 hours is ridiculous. And any player would feel it. But for someone like Mark Noble to do what he did today was fantastic, especially when people say, his legs are going. Again, he was at it today. So
and I tell you what, you wouldn't have thought with myself and yourself on this review tonight we'd be saying that about Mark Noble, but again, hats off to you, mate. Like, he's coming in and he's proven everything he's worth for West Ham and proven everything he's worth with the captain's armband. But honestly, I was disappointed with the team sheet. Just a mixture of, I'm desperate to see Arnautovic and Chicharito play up front because the positives I seen tonight was the fact that we closed the gap between the defensive line and the midfield line, which is the gaps we started to see opening up again. But then that also had a knock-on effect for our forward line because Chicharito was just left up top himself, and I felt really sorry for him, and he didn't look happy when he came off at all. And to be fair, if you put any striker in that position, they're going to struggle. And if West Ham are going to just opt to not play with proper strikers. We need to go into the transfer window with the aim that we can buy a striker of someone like Solomon Rondon, who can actually do that job up top himself. It's not probably what we want to hear, but that's the truth. But we'll keep that transfer talk for moving forward. Listen, first half crap, nothing really to talk about, was it?
It was a drab first half. You and I and the Iron United team were texting each other saying this is hard to watch, and it was hard to watch because we sat back and we gave Spurs all the ball. And I think part of the reason we had to be so defensive was because of Arnautovic's injury, obviously, and Antonio not being fit. Because if you have those two on the pitch, there's an outball. Because you know if you smash it into the corner, either Arnautovic or Antonio is going to get there, or he's going to hustle a throw in or a corner. It was difficult having those two out. First half we had to sit back, and you know what, we did well. As much as Spurs had the ball, yes, they had 75% possession, but they did nothing with it. And I think that's part of the reason Spurs will never, in my opinion, win the league anytime soon or get close, because they were rubbish today. Yes, they had the ball, but what chances did they create? And we nullified any threat they had. Rice had Kane in his pocket. Easy.
And again we've got to give plaudits to David Moyes, because he said what he said before the game. I'm going to close them down, I'm not going to let them play. He did that. They had more possession, but a few occasions I was starting to worry because I felt like Eriksen was starting to grow into the game for Tottenham. He made a few nice cheeky passes, but to be honest, we did nullify most of their threats. And I suppose when it takes two worldy of a goals, albeit I think Obiang's is 10 times better than Son's. And I'm going to say something here, controversial goal from Tottenham, but we'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, I think David Moyes has got to give him the plaudits for today, because he's set up the way he wants to do it. He's closed Tottenham down, he's closed their specific players down. Eriksen never had a chance to play. Declan Rice, I mean, go for it, Rich. Tell me your thoughts on him. 18 years old.
Every time I see him play, I just fall more in love with him, because he's fantastic, exceptional, composed head on 18-year-old shoulders. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to play at Wembley against that Spurs side at the age of 18 and be as fantastic as he was today. So composed in possession, doesn't panic, beat players, found some great passes, got the likes of Masuaku into the game on the wing. I think he just gets better and better, and that man, if he doesn't become a West Ham regular very soon, then there's a problem in my opinion, because he's far better than Kouyaté and Obiang at the minute. Definitely.
He's versatile. I mean, tonight he played that defensive role. I tell you what, like, the boy's 18, and we were talking to my dad earlier on, and my dad was asking me loads of questions about Declan Rice, and I was reminding my dad of the time when he played against Man City and he had Aguero in his back pocket. Then the next game we were quite surprised to see him not play, but then he's come in bit part positions and he's played all over the park, and he's not really let us down at all, and for all but one mistake against Newcastle, which, to be honest, the whole team was shit at the time anyway. It's literally been his only mistake he's made, and that's enough to get a starting point in that team. Like, if you go into the next game having a player playing to that standard week in, week out, why, even if Cresswell is fit, should Reece be dropped? Because in my opinion, he shouldn't be dropped.
Agreed.
And is there anyone in that back line? I mean, there's a lot of talk on social media regarding Winston Reid. I'm always going to stick up for Winston Reid. I think he's not having a great 3 or 4 games, but it's the first time I've really seen him kind of be off form. Ogbonna, I hold my hands up tonight again. I thought he was fantastic, probably one of his best games for us. Rich, thoughts?
Ogbonna's that type of player where you actually have to give him credit, because he's actually much faster and pacier than we think. I mean, today there were times when Ali kicked it past him, Kane kicked it past him, expecting to get there easily, and Ogbonna said not a chance. Gave it back to Adrian, and Adrian was able to clear. In terms of Winston Reid, I agree with you. He's struggled. He hasn't been himself last 5-6 games. Well, obviously he came back from the injury, and he just hasn't been himself. But I still believe he's definitely one of the best centre backs we have at the club. He's a leader. He's someone that wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think the injury perhaps has just made him be a little bit tentative. In the West Brom game and this game, just a few 50-50s he'd pull out of, where in the past he would go through the player and make sure he got the ball. So otherwise, it's a very good defensive performance. And with the Cresswell thing, I'd keep Rice in the team. Why not?
Yeah.
Because he's done everything. What more can Declan Rice do to start? He's been fantastic.
Yeah, and yeah, on the Winston Reid thing, I think that maybe he's just not been used to having defenders that are pulling their weight, and maybe he's just a little bit like, oh, maybe I don't have to do so much. So maybe he's getting caught out of position, because finally Ogbonna's bringing something to the table, and fair play to Ogbonna. He looked like why Juventus would have wanted to keep him or signed him when they did, and why he got called up for Italy, and why West Ham signed him and gave him a new contract. So fair play. Like, if he keeps playing like that, then I'll hold my hands up and I'll say, listen, I'm sorry, and I'm not going to judge him based upon a couple of the odd mistakes. He's got to give constant performances, which he's doing, which I'm happy about. Zabaleta thought he had a better game tonight, considering he played only 40 odd hours ago, so still a bit concerned, because I still felt like Tottenham were attacking that side. But let's move forward in the forward line, and do you know what, let's just get straight to it. One of the guys, Luke, our guy on our channel, he's put on in the YouTube channel, spend about 10 minutes talking about the Obiang goal, please. So let's just, maybe not give him 10 minutes, but let's just give you watchers and viewers our opinion on it. What an absolute rocket of a goal out of nothing. Out of nothing. This guy has literally just taken the ball past a Spurs player, looked up, thought, fuck it, I'm just going to smash it, and he smashed it. It reminded me, it was like Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank-esque, or Tony Yeboah.
Absolutely. I mean, that shot, I'm surprised. I mean, if it did it come off the inside of the post, or was it? I think it just went in clean. If that strikes the post, that breaks the post. In my opinion. He's absolutely milked that thing.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating here, and thanks, Luke, for bringing up this question, mate. Appreciate it. It's an absolute bullet.
Yeah.
I don't think Obiang will strike a ball better than he did.
Yeah.
Lloris, French national team keeper, French captain. For him, not even to smell that is just kudos to Pedro Obiang, because
to be
when
honest,
he picks up the ball in that position, he's go for it.
Would any of keeper even got anywhere near that? Because he's literally put that in to the top corner from that angle. It's just like Lloris has every angle he needs to have covered except for where the ball went, and for me, like it's just an unbelievable strike, and it literally came out of nothing. West Ham up until that point hadn't had an attempt on goal, and literally when he scored that goal, I think it was it the only, no, if you could probably count Kouate's free or near enough header near the end of the game. But let's stay on Obiang. Let's get the positivity. We'll come back to it because it's going to be negative. But listen, any final points to make on Obiang's goal, I suppose, because it's going to be a worldie. It's a rocket. But if you haven't seen it, like, just get on some site right now and have a look.
Watch it right now. It's worth it. Everyone watching this, just watch that goal again, 500 times. Yeah,
keep watching it, because it's unreal. Like, it's really, really good. Out of nothing. Look, you've had your 10 minutes, or maybe 2, so we'll give you that one. Then let's get on to the controversial part, which is the tackle on Lanzini, which led to the Son goal. Now, albeit fantastic goal, we can't even.
Yeah, it's a great goal.
You've got to rate it, Rich, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a fantastic goal. There's take nothing away from the strike. He's absolutely smashed that. Adrian didn't have much of a chance, but I will say that it's a foul on Lanzini, and I'm going to say this right now, and I'll tell you why. Because yes, he's got the ball, but Premier League referees are instructed to give fouls when it's reckless play, and he's gone and studs up. He's literally flew into that tackle. If he catches Lanzini on the leg, it's a leg breaker.
Yeah. Well,
he's thrown it off his feet.
Yeah, he's
off
caught.
his feet.
Yeah.
It's a foul all day. It's almost a yellow card as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they've got away with it and they've scored, and that's annoying for me. But at the end of the day, I'll take a point, so I can't really argue too much. What did you think of the challenge, Ant?
I think when you get to within 5 minutes of potentially winning a game you didn't expect to win, and the minute the tackle came in, I shouted, foul, 100% foul. Doesn't matter. He got the ball. His studs were up. His studs were showing. He did catch Lanzini. He did absolutely catch Lanzini, and it was lucky. If Lanzini's foot was planted, it would have broke it. It could have been a career-ending injury. In my opinion, I'm not even exaggerating. It was that bad. And
what annoys me most is the fact that the position Mike Dean had was brilliant. He literally was 5 meters away, 6 meters away. He couldn't have had a better view of it, and for him not to give a foul there is disappointing.
And that's the thing that annoys me the most. And this is not me saying that if this was just a really shitty, if this was just like a really shitty foul, like a 50-50 challenge, and the ball had played on, then fair dues, I'll give it that. But for me, this was very, very blatant.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost gone through the player to get to the ball, and I've seen challenges like that 50 times this season, and all of them have been a foul and a yellow card.
Yeah.
Because yes, he's got the ball, but it doesn't matter. You've gone through the player, your studs were raised, you're off your feet.
Yeah.
It's a foul all day long,
yeah.
And for me, it's a poor decision from Mike Dean.
Yeah, but we can't fault the goal from Son, can we?
Yeah, no, we can't. It's a great strike, as I've said. I think on the balance of play, I think a point was fair. Yes, I would have loved 3 points, and we were so close yet again. But I'm not upset when you concede a goal like that. I'm upset about the foul, but take nothing away from the strike. Fantastic goal.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing I can really say more.
And then let's talk about Kouate's chance.
Oh my word!
I mean, was it a free header? I mean, I think my head was in my hands because I couldn't watch the repeat because I was just like, did that actually happen? And it's fallen to probably right now the most underperforming West Ham player. And if it had fallen to any other player, I would have preferred, don't know, just anyone else. Like,
the thing is, Kouate is normally so good with his head. He scored 2 bullet headers against Spurs in the past, and I mean, what a ball in from Obiang. Again, that's Obiang who supplied that cross, and my word, what a ball in. He's taken 3 Tottenham players out of the game. Kouate far post, free header, got to score that. Got to at least hit the target, and normally Kouate does with his head. That's one of his better attributes, is his heading.
Yeah.
So disappointed, because that could have been 2-0 with a few minutes to play. That could have been game, set and match. So disappointing he couldn't put that away.
So listen, there's been a couple of comments. I just want to quickly get them out there. Sai S has said, imagine Carroll at the end of that cross. He would have taken the net off. Good shout. I never even thought of that, to be honest. We've got a Spurs fan watching, so this is interesting. He says, I can't even pronounce his name, Dong Young Kim, please get rid of Sissoko. I don't care if you sell him or give him back to Newcastle for free. Pissed at Pochettino for not subbing Sissoko out earlier. Thanks, mate, but don't really care. We just wanted to beat you guys, but listen, thanks for coming on and watching. Why not? Vernon Harvey said 100% a foul, but Spurs could have been winning 6-0 before we scored, so no complaints. Listen, I'm not complaining about, I'm just gutted that we're winning 1-0 with 5 minutes to go. That's the way I'm looking at it. I think you are, Rich. I think all West Ham fans are. We'll take a point all day long. 4 points at the last 2 games. Exactly what we needed.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I agree, but that comment, what he said at the end, could have been 6-0. I think that's, I don't buy that at all.
I don't buy the 6-0. Yeah.
They had maybe 2 decent chances. Yep. Otherwise, they were shooting from range. Eriksson was smashing it from 35 yards. He's not going to score past Adrian. Yes, Son smashed one in, but otherwise, I thought Spurs were hopeless today. Really, I can't see them getting anywhere near winning the Premier League. They're going to struggle to finish in the top 4 because they couldn't break us down.
Do you think they were hopeless, or do you think that was a tactician's job today?
I think it was a bit of both. One, Spurs weren't at it today, and lately they haven't been at it against West Ham. I don't know if we're their bogey team or if they get psyched out, but they can't play against us. Yeah, they've won a few games against us, but at the same time, it was also a tactical. I'm not going to say masterclass because that's a bit too much for David Moyes, in my opinion. I thought he did well, not quite a masterclass, but he's before the game he said, I'm going to sit back, be as compact as possible, and try to hit them and nick a goal, and that's exactly what we did. So part of it has to go to Moyes. Credit to him for that, definitely.
So game finished 1 each, but there's a few other talking points. Before we got into the other talking point would be. Ayew came on and he changed the game for me personally. I thought he had a great game.
Yeah, I agree with
our current style seems to suit Ayew's style. Hard working grafter, can kind of connect the two from the midfield to the to up top. When he's up top himself, it's frustrating when you've got any player up top himself. At one point, I think you've seen Ayew chasing the ball back, and he looked back and he was listing all the players, and then the commentators were saying, oh mate, you're up there yourself, don't worry about anyone else, no one else is coming up to help you. And that's frustrating, but then I get it, you're now looking for the point, you're going to take the point at that point. But he was, what was your thoughts on Ayew?
I was slightly surprised that he didn't start. I thought this was a game that Ayew should probably be starting, but then again, we know why Moyes has played the 3 centre midfielders. I thought Ayew was good today. I really did. He came off the bench. He brought freshness, intensity. He held up the ball better than Hernandez did. Hernandez couldn't hold up the ball at all tonight. Ayew got the ball, held it up, had a few good touches. Almost scored. Floris didn't make that good save, and I thought he was very good today. He was very good under. I'm not going to say very good. He was decent towards the end of Bilic's term with us, and he was decent today again. So I still don't think he's quite ready to start, especially when Arnautovic and Antonio come back. I think Ayew's definitely a bench player for me.
Yeah, and I suppose it depends on who we're playing and what style of play we're going out to play. So if it's going to be the lone striker, I think I would prefer Ayew over Antonio up top doing that job he's done today. But listen, let's talk about Chicharito, because he started. I was delighted, but I was gutted we weren't going to see this partnership, this connection between him and Arnautovic. And if anything, I predicted, as probably did every West Ham fan, that Chicharito was not going to have a good game because he wasn't going to get supported. He doesn't play up top himself. That's not his position. That's not how he's going to do it. So I just feel like it was a wasted opportunity. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think he was on a hiding to nothing when he saw his name on the team sheet, because he knew he was literally only in the team to really chase down the centre backs, try be a nuisance, because he wasn't really going to get any real service, because Masuaku and Zabaleta weren't going to get as far forward as they normally do because of the nature of the game, the nature of the fixture, the way Spurs are playing. So it's going to be a difficult next few months for Hernandez, because Moyes clearly doesn't fancy him starting. I think he obviously prefers Carroll in the pecking order. He started him today, but I think he's got eyes on starting Carroll in the next few games, especially the relegation 6-pointers. I don't see Hernandez playing as much of a part. And if he doesn't play, then I think he's going to want to leave, unfortunately. But maybe if Moyes doesn't stay on, another manager will come in and see the quality Hernandez has, and see the fact that he needs someone up with him, because he can't do it alone. He's not that type of player.
I think if anything though, Rich, the biggest thing that I'm going to say is, I'm not saying we've got dead wood, but we need an overhaul as just a squad overhaul. Like maybe it is dead wood. Maybe we've got too much familiar faces in the squad that nothing's been happening. There's players been there too long. They're not really giving anything else to the team anymore. So I think it's not going to happen in January, but in the summer, we'll talk about this again in our transfer special. But I want to see a big overhaul midfield, up top maybe, but then I think the problem is becoming our midfield, because we have no creativity, we have no connection between the defence or the forward line, and that's where my biggest issue is, and that's why we get these strikers and none of them are performing. Listen, at the end of the day, all the strikers we've had have either performed previously or performed after, but when performing for West Ham haven't been up to it. And for me, there's too much of a pattern there or coincidental that West Ham aren't playing to that style of play, which is really unfortunate. Listen, have your comments, put them in the YouTube channel, let us know what you think. But what's your thoughts, Rich?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Whether it be in Jan, I still believe we need three or so signings if we could get this window. I'm not sure if it will happen, but definitely in the summer. I agree with you when it comes to getting some freshness in the squad. I feel like you've nailed it on the head. Our midfield is our weak point at the moment, because other than Lanzini in the middle of the park, Obiang and Kouyaté don't look to go forward. They look to pass sideways or go backwards, and they're very defensive-minded. Kouyaté in the past would get forward, but he's just been a different player. He just looks lost. So I think we're going to have to try and get some players in. I'd love for us to get Carvalho in, but that we'll save for the transfer special, because I feel like he's that type of player that can go box to box and link up really well from defence all the way through to the forward line. So that's definitely something I'd get in.
Before we go, last few comments on YouTube. Mickey Smith has said Kouyaté absolutely bottled it. He just didn't want to hit it. Fear of getting clattered from somewhere. Dong Yun Kim, I think Spurs and Arsenal are competing to be the worst team in North London. Mickey Smith, Hernandez is a poacher. That role doesn't suit him one bit. Bit of a dick move from Moyes, that. something's not right with that relationship, in my opinion. You've seen the way that Hernandez came off and just didn't look too happy. Chicha's first touch was poor though. He had a few chances to make something happen and bottled it. Sai S, I don't agree, if I'm being honest. I think he maybe didn't have his best game, but there was a chance. I've seen some comments on Twitter where in the first half Chicharito was through on goal at the wide right hand side. There was no one else up there supporting him. He tried to cut the ball back and it didn't feed through to any player, but he was up there himself. What else are you going to do? He had a
decent chance when Davison Sanchez played the ball to him, and he literally had a straight run through on goal.
Oh yeah, and it was
and he lacked pace. He does lack pace. I thought he was quicker. I honestly thought he was quicker, and I tend to agree a little bit. I thought his hold-up play wasn't great today. I honestly don't think it was great. I know he's not that type of player, but in the Premier League, you've got to be able to keep the ball as close as you can, especially in games like this when we need an out ball. I felt he let the touch got away a couple of times.
He did.
It was disappointing.
If that was a 1-on-1 and that was Arnautovic on the end of it, no player would have got anywhere near him because of his pace.
Definitely.
And I suppose that was highlighted, the fact he doesn't have pace. But again, that's for me. It's just not his positioning, and maybe West Ham.
Yeah, fair enough.
Why the hell did we sign him if we were never going to play that style of play, knowing that that's what we were getting? But last but not least, Camo Gilo Laka has written, "Richie boy, love heart."
Yeah. My man.
Your man. So listen, before we go, any other points you want to make, Rich? One each. Wembley, point, take it.
Yeah, no, I think to round up, it's a great point. I would have taken it before the game. Credit to the players, credit to the manager. Positive results, much needed. Yeah,
absolutely. Make sure you get your comments in below. If there's anything we've missed, make the comments in there. Let us know. Contact us on the social media platforms. We're getting a lot of messages, really good messages, positive messages. We've got a lot of some negative, some dickheads, but you know what, who cares? We're old enough and ugly enough to deal with it.
Always going to get the dickhead. Always going to get the dickhead. It's
but we're ugly enough to deal with it. We ain't there to challenge any other West Ham social site. We're here to be West Ham family. So anyone wants to come on, please come on. We are 100% behind it. And yeah, get following us on our social media sites. We're going to have a Shrewsbury preview, review. I think we've got a transfer show planned next week. Is that right, Rich? Yeah. And then so let's keep it up. Let's go West Ham. Let's keep moving up that league. Huddersfield next in the league. So let's get those 3 points. He's been Rich. I've been Anton. Come on, you irons.